Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is squeezed into an airplane cockpit that was never designed for a 7'2" man. Paramount Studios. Summer 1980. He's wearing a pilot's uniform, a captain's hat that barely fits his head, sweat rolling down his face from the studio lights that feel like standing next to the sun. The directors told him one thing: stay in character, no matter what happens. You're Roger Murdock. You're not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, just a regular airline co-pilot. Then a 10-year-old boy walks onto the set, looks up at him, and says 8 words that change everything. My dad says you don't work hard enough on defense. What happens in the next 10 seconds doesn't just create the most iconic scene in the film. It reveals something about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that millions of fans never knew existed. Paramount Studios. July 1980, Stage 12. The soundstage is transformed into the interior of a commercial airplane. Fake windows, fake overhead compartments, a cockpit so small that Kareem has to fold himself into impossible angles just to fit. The film is called Airplane, a parody of disaster movies. Nobody expects it to become one of the most successful comedies in history. Right now, it's just a low-budget production with a $3.5 million budget and a cast of actors willing to play everything completely straight. Kareem didn't plan to be here. The role was originally written for Pete Rose, the baseball star. But Rose was in the middle of his season, couldn't make it work. So the Zucker brothers called Kareem's agent with an offer: $30,000 for a few days of work. Kareem said no, not enough. How much do you want? $35,000. Why 35? Because that's how much this rug costs that I want to buy. The Zucker brothers thought it was a negotiating tactic, some clever way to squeeze more money. Then they saw a magazine photo of Kareem standing next to a $35,000 decorative rug he'd just purchased. He wasn't joking. He wanted the rug. The movie would pay for it. They agreed. Now Kareem is on set. Day 2 of filming, the cockpit scenes. He's playing Roger Murdock, a co-pilot who looks exactly like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but insists he's just a regular airline employee. The joke is obvious. Everyone can see he's Kareem. He keeps denying it. Comedy through absurdity. The set is brutal. The cockpit was built for actors of normal height. Kareem's knees press against the instrument panel. His head grazes the ceiling. The pilot's seat doesn't adjust far enough back. Every position is uncomfortable. And the lights. Studio lights in 1980 weren't designed for comfort. They're designed for brightness. Thousands of watts aimed directly at the actors. The temperature in the cockpit reaches over 100 degrees. Kareem doesn't complain. Not his style. Never has been. He spent his entire career being called cold, distant, unemotional. The truth is different. He just doesn't perform his emotions for other people's entertainment. The crew watches him fold himself into that tiny space. Take after take, sweating through his uniform, never asking for special treatment. They're impressed. The 7'2" NBA superstar is more professional than half the actors in Hollywood. Peter Graves sits next to him. The actor playing Captain Over. Graves is a professional, decades of experience. He sees Kareem struggling with the heat, leans over between takes. You okay? Kareem nods. Just hot. Graves smiles. Welcome to show business. The scene they're shooting is simple. A young boy named Joey visits the cockpit. Standard disaster movie trope. Kid meets the pilots, gets excited about airplanes. But in this version, Joey recognizes Roger Murdock as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Murdock denies it. Joey insists. Comedy ensues. The boy playing Joey is about 10 years old. Bright kid. Knows his lines perfectly. The directors explained the joke to him. You're supposed to keep pushing Kareem's buttons. Don't let up. Make him uncomfortable. The cameras roll. Joey enters the cockpit, looks at Murdock. His eyes go wide. Wait a minute. I know you. You're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You play basketball for the Los Angeles Lakers. Kareem stays in character. Shakes his head slightly. I'm sorry, son, but you must have me confused with someone else. My name is Roger Murdock. I'm the co-pilot. Joey doesn't buy it. You are Kareem. I've seen you play. My dad's got season tickets. Kareem glances at Peter Graves, looking for help. Graves plays along perfectly. He's not bothering anyone. Let him stay here. Kareem turns back to the controls, tries to ignore the kid, points to his name tag. Just remember, my name is Roger Murdock. I'm an airline pilot. Joey smiles. That innocent smile kids have when they're about to say something devastating. I think you're the greatest. Kareem relaxes slightly. A compliment. He can handle compliments. Then Joey continues. But my dad says you don't work hard enough on defense. The set goes quiet. Everyone knows the criticism. It's followed Kareem his entire career. Since UCLA, since Milwaukee, since Los Angeles. He doesn't hustle. He doesn't try. He coasts on talent. Lazy. Indifferent. Going through the motions. It's not true. Kareem knows it's not true. He's won 5 championships, 6 MVP awards. He's the leading scorer in NBA history. You don't achieve that by not trying. But the criticism persists. Always has. Always will. The directors watch. The crew holds their breath. This is the moment. This is where Kareem either stays in character or doesn't. Kareem stays professional. Reaches for the radio microphone. Tries to focus on flying the fake airplane. Joey isn't done. And he says that lots of times, you don't even run down court. Kareem's jaw tightens, almost imperceptible, but the camera catches it, and that you don't really try. Kareem's grip on the controls tightens, except during the playoffs. Something snaps. Kareem breaks. Completely. Totally. The mask he's worn for 20 years of professional basketball cracks open on a Hollywood soundstage in front of 30 crew members and a 10-year-old actor. He turns to Joey, leans in close, his voice rising. The hell I don't. The crew freezes. This isn't in the script. This is real. Listen, kid. I've been hearing that crap ever since I was at UCLA. Kareem's voice fills the tiny cockpit, fills the soundstage, fills the space with decades of suppressed frustration finally finding release. I'm out there busting my buns every night. Tell your old man to drag Walton and Lanier up and down the court for 48 minutes. Bill Walton, Bob Lanier, 2 of the biggest centers in basketball history. Kareem has spent his career battling giants, night after night, city after city, while fans and critics sat in comfortable seats and questioned his effort. The directors look at each other. They should yell cut, reset, get Kareem back in character, but they don't. They let the cameras roll. Something is happening here. Something real. Kareem isn't acting anymore. He's defending himself. Finally. Publicly. After years of swallowing the criticism. After years of being called cold and distant and lazy. After years of letting his statistics speak for him while the narrative never changed. The take ends. Silence. Then David Zucker speaks. That was perfect. We're using that. Kareem looks confused. That wasn't the script. I know. It's better than the script. That's going in the movie. Kareem sits back, realizes what just happened. He broke character, lost his composure, did exactly what he never does. Showed emotion, showed frustration, showed that the criticism bothers him. And it's going to be in a movie that millions of people will see. For a moment, he considers asking them to cut it, to use a different take, to let him try again with proper composure. But he doesn't. Maybe this is what people need to see. Maybe this is the truth they've been missing. The real Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Not the stoic statue, not the distant superstar. A man who cares. a man who works, a man who's tired of being misunderstood. They keep the scene. Airplane opens on June 27th, 1980. It becomes a phenomenon. $83 million at the box office, 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, one of the most beloved comedies ever made. And Kareem's scene becomes legendary. People who don't care about basketball quote it. People who've never watched an NBA game recognize it. The hell I don't becomes a catchphrase, a meme before memes existed. But something else happens, something unexpected. The scene changes how people see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. For years, he'd been the cold superstar, the intellectual who seemed above it all, the player who never showed emotion on the court. Fans didn't connect with him the way they connected with Magic Johnson or Larry Bird. But in that scene, in that tiny cockpit, with a 10-year-old actor pushing his buttons, they saw something different. They saw passion. They saw frustration. They saw a man who cared deeply about being misunderstood. A man who'd been busting his buns every night while everyone assumed he wasn't trying. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was human, after all. The scene didn't change overnight perceptions. It took years, decades, but it planted a seed. It showed people a glimpse behind the mask. Years later, Kareem would talk about that moment, about why he let them keep it. I'd spent my whole career trying to be composed, trying to be dignified, trying not to give people ammunition to use against me. But sometimes you have to let people see that you're not a robot, that the criticism lands, that you care. The irony is perfect. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the man who never broke character in 20 years of professional basketball, who maintained his composure through championships and controversies, who never gave reporters the satisfaction of seeing him rattled. He broke on a movie set, playing a fake pilot, yelled at by a child actor reading from a script, and it became the most authentic moment of his public life. Airplane turned 44 years old, still considered one of the greatest comedies ever made, still quoted constantly, still watched by new generations who discover it on streaming services. And Kareem's scene still resonates, because it's not really about basketball. It's about being judged, about working hard while others assume you're not, about maintaining composure while criticism accumulates like weight on your shoulders, about the moment when you finally say enough. The hell I don't. 3 words. Decades of frustration. 1 perfect take. Leslie Nielsen had a whoopee cushion that he loved using on set, pressed it constantly during dialogue scenes. Kareem thought he had intestinal problems until someone explained the joke. Kareem passed out twice from the heat during filming. Never complained. Finished every scene. The crew had to adjust the shooting schedule around him, give him more breaks, more water. He never asked for special treatment. They gave it anyway because they respected him. The Zucker brothers had written a letter to the Milwaukee Sentinel years earlier, defending young Lou Alcindor against harsh media coverage. They never told Kareem. He only found out decades later. The people who cast him had been defending him since he was in college. The $35,000 rug still exists. Kareem kept it for years, a reminder of the movie that paid for it. The movie that showed the world a side of him they'd never seen. Who's the Joey in your life right now? Who's telling you that you don't try hard enough, that you don't care enough, that you're coasting on talent? And when are you going to snap back? Kareem spent 20 years swallowing the criticism, letting his stats speak for him, maintaining composure while the narrative hardened into accepted truth. Then, a 10-year-old kid in a fake cockpit gave him permission to explode. Sometimes the breakthrough doesn't come on the court. Sometimes it comes on a sound stage, in a pilot's uniform, sweating under lights that feel like punishment. Sometimes all it takes is one kid saying what everyone's thinking, and sometimes the only response is the truth. The hell I don't. Listen, kid, I've been hearing that crap ever since I was at UCLA. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar finally said what he'd been thinking for 20 years, and the world finally listened.